the apocryphal story is me in the shower, hearing that the median income for women is $14,000 a year, and I thought, ooh, why don't more people turn to crime? And that all these things kind of came together in a sort of upside-down morality tale and a family story about a woman who tries to make her family go straight.
There's a lot of bad language. There's a lot of sex. They were a gangster family in many ways. They could have frightened the horses. They could have scared Middle New Zealand away, and probably did initially. But it's the spirit and the love between family members and the conflict between family members that resonated.
I love her because she's so fallible. I love her because she's full of so many, she makes mistakes all the time. She just buggers it up. But she gets back up again, and she loves the kids, She loves the kids 180%. And she, she smokes, or she did until she got pregnant again, she smokes and she drinks and she's really sexually active, and she drives her car fast, and she doesn't apologise for what she thinks, She's a much braver woman than I am, and I love playing her.
I think of her as a gift of a character because she has so much scope, really limitless scope, I think. And I think when you start to play a character who's right in the middle of these very formative teenage years, that just adds to that gift because people change so much during their teens. And so she similarly ended up in a completely different position to when she started because of all the experiences and all the developmental changes that she'd gone through.
Both characters are really enjoyable to play, but for different reasons. Van's very loose and I improvised a lot, and Rach and James hated me because I'd go off script and change their lines a little bit, just to keep it fluid and keep it really in the moment and really fresh. Which was fantastic, it was really loose and the character was really loose. Whereas Jethro's a lot straighter and a lot more compacted in a way, and a lot more self-contained and a lot more articulate, so I had to do a lot more work in learning lines and being more word perfect.
In the beginning, Pascal was sort of the comic relief sort of character, not too much sort of responsibility, I suppose, with progressing the stories and all that sort of thing. Which was fun and good for me again, because I hadn't done a hell of a lot of comedy, and it turned out I was okay at it, so that was cool. And then as the years went on, I got different sort of storylines, but more meat,
I think, mate, if I'd played the character that they had originally written, I would have been a scapegoat for something early on in that. He would have become a scapegoat for a story, for one of Van's storylines or something that would have ended up with him taking it and leaving the show. What I did is I made him accessible, and even though he breaks the law and stuff like that, I just made him a normal person. You know what I mean? I didn't make him a character, I just made him a normal person that we all know.
She was a really extreme version of me when I get really drunk. And that was just her, sober. No, she was just so out there. She just never censored anything she said, she just said it. And I kind of admire people like that, because I'm not like that. So it was really freeing just to be able to just go there, and without anyone kind of shushing you away, But you do run the risk of being too big with those shows. So it was about being big, but finding the truth of the character so it still works, so it's still believable.
It was such a great show because there's so much freedom in it. There's so much faith and trust in the performances, and they allow you to have quite free reign with that. So it just felt, and of course working with Ant, you just get to really play and get away with stuff and get into some really grunty stuff. I would have loved to have done more. Just the freedom that comes with that show, because it is very much around character. It's very character-based as opposed to plot-driven. And people relish it, seeing people go, from one extreme of an emotion to another in a scene, and the comedy that comes with that as well as the tragedy.
The idea of it was that it would be large and comedic and not take itself too seriously, because I didn't want the audience to feel scared of it. I also wanted it to be rude enough and outrageous enough that people would have to watch it, and talk about it. And I really wanted to bust through that kind of cultural cringe where people didn't feel like they had to watch New Zealand drama because it was good for you, but just because it was going to be fun.
They have truly become like this big family that they embrace each other and love each other, but they can also be complete pains in the arse, and they can be, they can turn on you and you can turn on them. It has got that kind of intensity to it, and in a way I won't miss that, but I will miss it eventually, because on the whole it's good, but it's been a strange roller coaster.
All that cast, they're brave actors. They took huge risks. They just threw themselves into it, and they played, and they exposed themselves in the sense that they actually walked that tightrope on that fine line between falling into the abyss of failure and pulling quite extraordinary things out of the hat.
We were working together 12 hours a day for 5 years with a few breaks in the middle, but that's a lot of waking hours with the same group of people pretty much. That most of us who were there at the beginning were there at the end. And yeah, I think it was like a family, and I guess we were all very invested in each other, meaning that we all really wanted each other to do as well as they possibly could, because we all had so much love and investment in the show.
There was definitely, off screen, the kind of love-hate moments, we sisterly, with Anthony, with Tony, we had our sisterly, brotherly kind of, it was really, really nice. You really got to know everyone, and I felt really safe with the main cast, which was really cool, because they'd all been, working for years and years and years. And Tony had been working since she was, 12, 11. So I was the newbie, and it was really nice. I never felt like they put me out, to dry or whatever. I had to use a mat to get to the audition. So yeah, it was good for me. I had to get swearing lessons because I never used to swear. And then I remember my boyfriend at the time, he was a Westie, and he was like, no, you need to work out, at the end, you can't just, you're doing it all, nicely, girly. That was cool. Yeah, it was good for me.
You work on so many things that don't go past a first season. If it goes to a second season, you're a bit lucky. A third season, you're absolutely lucky. To get to 6 seasons of an hour-long drama is, pretty much, and then for it to be kind of embraced the way Outrageous has been embraced, and it creates a kind of a strange pressure.
Because it shows a side of New Zealand that people recognise and yet is not our general character. New Zealanders tend to be sort of smug, polite, defensive, all those things, and the West are none of those things. And I think people enjoy seeing themselves in that way. Or they go, oh, that's a lot like someone I know, but not like me. But they can laugh and enjoy it because it's sort of familiar to them in a way. And I think the myth of these loud, ballsy, rude, loving, passionate people is something that people enjoy. It's entertaining.
I've noticed, particularly in the last season or two, that audiences used to come up and say, oh, you really made me laugh, or I loved the show, or God, that was really sad when that happened. And then in the last couple of seasons, I've been having these quite sort of meaningful chats with people, and it's got to the point where I get the sense that the show actually really moves people, in the sense that they really care about the characters. Like, they love the characters, and it matters to them what happens to the characters. And I'm so proud of that, because it just means that we're doing our job, we're just doing our job. And it's a New Zealand show, people are turning away from Australian and American shows to watch us.